Hey everyone, Lee Goldstein for 10-Minute Trades, and I want to do something a little bit different this week. Every week we have winning trades. There's never been a week where you didn't have a whole bunch of winners. And every week I show you a traditional winning trade. We show the best trade of the week, some member screenshots. Well, this week I'm going to do something a little bit different. The first trade I'm going to show you is what happens when you follow a plan and the plan is intelligent and your analysis makes sense. The second thing I'm going to show you is sometimes it's better to find out what's going to work in the future, because that's going to make you more money than one trade I can show you right now that was great last week. I'm going to show you a whole bunch of trading you can do in the future that should bring us a lot of profits rather than one great winning trade. So sit back and let me show you what I'm talking about. NOPA crushes a grain report, and we believe that the tariffs have caused this report to stop working. For 3 months, we've had no impact when the report is released. The Chinese are not buying any soybeans because, think about it, if you put a tariff on a product and it's cheaper to buy the product from another country rather than from us, wouldn't you buy it from another country? That's what's going on with soybeans and soybean oil. NOPA is the National Oil Producers Association, soybean oil. However, we wanted to give it one last shot. Watch what happens on NOPA. It's very interesting. Our orders were on the chart. A couple of seconds before the news comes out, our orders go on the chart, and you can see that there is a little bit of volatility in soybean oil, and then we get filled and miss getting our target literally by one tick. I shrunk the stop a little bit, but I was happy to see that we got an immediate fill, and clearly something was going on to the upside on soybean oil. Okay, we had a low of the day below us, that red dotted line, and you can't yet see the green dotted line, which is the high of the day. And that's going to be important. It's going to come into play because I always have a plan when I'm trading. First, my plan is to hit the first target, get my stop to safety, and then be able to trail if we're lucky enough and get market cooperation. We didn't quite get a lot of movement for a little bit, and then watch what happens. The price will chop around a little. It hits our first target, and I've moved my stop into safety. I've also took my target, which was down below the entry of this green and black box, and I moved it all the way up to the high of the day. Why? The high of the day is a magnet. We talk about magnets all the time. There are places on the chart where traders put orders, and magnets attract price, especially a high of the day attracts prices. I can't speak, but it's okay. I can trade. We got a whole bit of chop, and I'm going to speed this up by going through it. As we waited in the room and just watched the trade, we chilled. It was already 4 minutes after our original target got hit. We weren't out of the trade. Only one target was hit, but I was patient. Even though price came all the way back down, watch, price came all the way back down after it hit our first target, right there. And then what's going to happen? That high of the day is going to come into play. Remember, I hit my first target. I then moved my stop to safety. That means I move my stop to an area where I can't lose on the trade. I'm above break even. And now my plan is, I know the high of the day is going to get tested because we had a trade that burst up. It failed on the downside, which was good for our long trade. And watch, there we go. We're heading up, heading up, heading up, heading up. Bingo. We made our money because we patiently waited for the test of the high. That was a perfect trade. It took much longer than normal. We were in that trade for 27 minutes, but we had a plan. We were talking in the trade room, discussing all of the ways that we trade, teaching, and that 27 minutes was not wasted because we made extra money. Now stay tuned. I want to show you what was so important about Friday morning's special session trade room. I'd been noticing all week that the gold open at 8:20 in the morning Eastern time looked very tradable. We used to trade it during the pandemic. So I called a special session of the trade room for Friday morning because we had the 9 o'clock open that we were going to trade, and we got there early for the oil open. I put a range trade on the chart for 1 minute. When the range got broken, we would have orders on the chart to fill us. If it got broken to the upside, we would get filled long. If it got broken to the downside, we would get filled short. We got filled short, and gold, instantly shoots down 40 ticks of profit. Gold had been moving literally $40 from when we first got there into the trade room. Gold was up over $40. It went negative, and now it was up $11. But the open very often changes direction. It might be temporary, but it very often changes direction. We got filled short. In literally about 15 seconds, we had 40 ticks of profit using a 1 minute range to enter. Then I decided, let's also do the oil open. We used to trade the oil open during the pandemic, 9 a.m. Eastern time, and the oil open today was very interesting. You can see here we created a range. The oil opens at 9. We did the same thing that we did on gold, a 1 minute range. As the range is formed, when the minute is over, our orders get placed on the chart above the range and below the range. If the open pierces the order, which it did just then, it shot down the second oil opened at 9 a.m. You could see we got pulled into the market short, and then we just sat tight watching the price action. My goal is to take my stop here and get it to safety so I can trail. That's always my goal in a trade, because if you can trail, that means you're getting more and more profit. We got that opportunity. You could see right there, we were in the trade about 55 seconds. Oil gave us the opportunity to move our stop to safety, and it chopped around quite a bit. It almost hit our target, which would have given us about a $200 profit, one contract, full-size oil, but it chopped around, and when the trade was over, it came against us after we kept trailing a little bit more, but it took us out after a 13 tick profit, which is still a very nice profit on an open that you spent just a couple of minutes in. We made $130. Now look, I know $130 doesn't sound like a fortune, but it's a very decent profit. Add that to the gold open, it's over $500 in profit. The point is, these were not live trades. We were testing to see what's the possibility of adding these events to our trade room starting next week to see if these opens are going to generate some good profits. It's very, very promising. These are the reasons you want to join with us and become a member and come into our trade room. We're always adding new ways to trade. We always give you a great opportunity to join with us. Just check the email that this video is a part of and start trading with us next week. Yes, there's a government shutdown, and a couple of reports every week are not being released, but very few of the reports are actually government reports, but they should open that government right now. They're doing everyone a disservice. The government should never be allowed to close. Anyway, you want to trade these opens with us. We're going to start doing them next week. Gold open, 8:20 Eastern time. Oil open, 9 a.m. Eastern time. We're going to give it a shot, see how they work. I believe they're going to be excellent to trade, especially gold. Oil, the price is getting lower and lower. Gold, the price is getting higher and higher. Something's going on. Hopefully there won't be a shock to the market. Anyway, I hope this video intrigues you enough to come into the room, join us as a pro member, take advantage of the trial, and I'll see you all next week in the trade room. You can see the link for our trial, www.gopro25.com. Join with us, and I'd love to see you next week. You know where.